Hello and welcome to the Prof Show. Tonight's show is called Major RICO Bust in Indiana, Breaking Live. And I want to welcome all of you in. Boy, you're going to be very interested in what we have to talk about tonight. So please get yourself some refreshments, make yourself comfortable, do what you got to do, and we'll be right back after everyone comes in. So give me a minute here.
Gross and icky, and I feel like it tells us more about them than the people they're trying to degrade. They're always trying to degrade someone.
Prof is a fucking terrorist, a fucking pedophile, sympathizing fucking terrorist.
This stuff's coming to a close. There are more than one person involved with this case. It's not just Richard Allen. There's several others, and we've all seen them on TV and been interviewed and spoken about way back in the beginning. Law enforcement has known about these people, but they have to methodically build a case.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Oh my God!
Prof is a fucking terrorist.
It's not productive. It's kind of gross and icky.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
It's not productive. It's kind of gross and icky.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
It's not productive. It's kind of gross and icky.
Prof is a fucking terrorist.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
This stuff's coming to a close. There are more than one person involved with this case.
Prof is a fucking terrorist.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
It's not productive.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
It's not productive. It's kind of gross and icky. And I feel like it tells us more about them than the people they're trying to degrade. They're always trying to degrade someone.
Prof is a fucking terrorist. Fuck you.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
Okay. Enough of that. Enough of that. Now, let's see. You guys hearing me okay? Okay, welcome in everyone. Damn. Tonight is Thursday, April 30th, and to be honest with you, I didn't plan on coming live today. This is a pop-up show, a surprise show, a breaking news show because I have been absolutely flooded all day with emails, with documents, with a whole bunch of other stuff I had to do. And the last thing I wanted to do was to come live tonight. But this is very important for everyone who's interested in any of the criminal cases in Indiana and the Midwest in general. By that, I mean Illinois, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana proper. Any of you who are actually interested in the police corruption, in the railroading of so many peoples, in the corruption in the prison system, and in the underground criminal economy that runs on out to New York, down to Florida, out to Boston, or over on down into Arizona, etc. You guys need to be very well aware of what this is about. Okay, so tonight we're going to deep dive into it. I'm going to show you the breaking news, and you're going to walk away from tonight very well educated and knowing a little more what you should probably be expecting in the next couple years to come from all this, and maybe even why this is happening. Because look, let's be honest here. I really don't do politics on this channel, but this is a direct cause of the changes in the FBI and at the DOJ, okay, where for years people have been protected, and now the DOJ and the FBI are actually pushing out some criminals and bringing them on into the prison system and the court system. And you're going to see what's happening because you would have never seen this in years prior. So I want to show you exactly what's going on because I guarantee you there's a whole bunch of people who are pooping their pants tonight in Indiana and in the Midwest because let's be honest here. You guys have all watched gangster movies, right? And by that I mean, the old black and whites, or even the old The Godfather and all of the series. You know how it is. Uh, Let me ask you this: Who protects the mob? Who protects the mob? You guys know very well. It's the goddamn police. This goes all the way back to Prohibition and before. There's always been a mutual beneficial relationship, whether that's in Chicago, where it was especially entrenched on 100 years ago, or whether that's on in Indiana, Cincinnati, Columbus, Boston, New York, Tampa, Miami, Phoenix, LA. This shit is an action. I can't talk. I'm so excited. This shit is actually bombshell. Okay, this is actually bombshell, and you guys tonight are going to be very well educated on this case tonight, and you're going to understand that there are very likely tentacles extending all the way throughout the state of Indiana, God bless them, and Illinois, and all over the country. To be honest with you, and we're going to highlight that tonight. These are the tentacles. Okay, we're looking at some tentacles, and you're going to see what up with that. Okay, but before we get into the show, I'd like to welcome all my dieharders who are the members in the chat, in the live chat right now. So what up, live chat? Good to see you all. Hey, everybody. Deb is the mod here. Please respect Deb's words and wishes. Um, and enjoy yourselves. Okay, so let me welcome everyone here. Of course, Deb is here as always. We got Pishi, we got support with Steffa, four pit bulls across America, Critter Mama. Looks like Mustang is here. Fur Baby Daddy, David Rogers, Swade Smith, always die harden. Christopher, we got Dennis McKean, Pertinent, Jackie Ball. We got Miss K, Nancy Drew, um, Island Girl Diana. We got Becky. All right. Jamie Blair. We got Giuseppe. We got Victims News on Air, Erica Morris. We got Shy Low. And hey, if I missed you, I apologize. I'm trying my best. Ninja Warrior Assassin, how are you? Uh, Everybody here, welcome. And if I've missed you, just let me know. Lisa Cornwell, how are you? Uh, Monday's here. Arthur Claremont, hello to you. All right, all y'all, welcome. I'm glad to see you guys. These are the die-harders. And look, a lot of you guys are residents of Indiana. You need to know this, okay? So we're going to go through this tonight so you get caught up. But yeah, like I've said, I've been excited all day about this because I think this is really knocking the knees out from under some shit. And, you know, particularly, I almost say it's a Achilles heel, okay? We're hitting the Achilles heel here, and let's be honest here. This is the federal government. Local law enforcement has absolutely nothing to do with this, and that's how you know it's important. As I've said in my previous episode, or the one in which I covered this weirdo Adam Bridge. And by the way, have you guys all noticed the uptick in the arrest of pedophiles who are distributing CSAM all around? Yeah, it's happening. Anyhow, this is the federal government. Okay, this is not any of the locals, ISP, anyone else. Okay, because they are the part of this criminal enterprise. This is the federal government swooping in with a comprehensive, expansive grand jury indictment, and I think it's the first blow to a large criminal enterprise that has its tentacles spread all throughout this country, and this one has been operating in the Gary and Michigan City, Northwest Indiana, Merrillville area. Okay, and we're going to look at that tonight. So, yeah, you Indiana residents, get caught up. Okay, get woke, babe. So here we go. Look, first thing we're going to do before we do anything, we're going to listen to the press conference that unfolded this morning, which, hey, let's be honest, the press conference itself is not very impressive, but let me tell you something. The indictment is. So first we'll take in this press conference, and then we're going to dive on deep into the indictment and some of the news coverage so that you guys can see what's up. But any of you guys who living in the Maryville, Hobart, um, Dyer, Michigan City, all those areas, you should be paying attention, Gary. Okay. Uh, so yeah, a big blow to the mob. Okay, to yesterday, and so let's start off by checking this out right here. It'll be nice to see.
Good morning. Good morning. All right, thank you. All right, so many of you, this may be a press conference that you've been to several. This is my first, so I appreciate you coming here today. My name is Adam Mildred, and I serve as the United States Attorney for the Northern District of Indiana. I'm joined here by FBI Special Agent in Charge Timothy O'Malley to my left. We have IRS Supervisory Special Agent Chris Hebron, Indiana Gaming Commission Superintendent of Law Enforcement Brock Pilgrim. We have representatives from the Indiana State Police, United States Marshal of the Northern District of Indiana, Todd Nukes, and then from our office, First Assistant Scott Proctor to my right, Criminal Chief Tony.
Before we go any further, let me just say this. Look at these guys. All right, look at these guys. Boy, these are some suits for you. These are some suits for you. These guys ain't playing around. Look at them all. They don't even look comfortable here. They're like, we don't want to be doing this. We won't be at our desks knocking some shit down. But look at these guys. All right. All right, continuing.
Geller, and then the two lawyers that are going to be the primary folks that present for the district, AUSA Phil Benson and AUSA Kevin Wolf. We're here today to provide information to the public about an investigation and charges recently filed in the Northern District. We are limited in scope here today as the matters have just been initiated, and so we will limit the discussion to what is on the record and basic public safety information. The matters we will be discussing are allegations only at this point, and all persons are presumed innocent until proven guilty. And with that, On April 16, 2026, a federal grand jury in Hammond, Indiana, returned a 28-count indictment charging James Gerardimas, a.k.a. Jimmy the Greek, Dean G. Alamos, a.k.a. Dean Gem, Chris Gerardimas, and 19 others with running an illegal gambling conspiracy that used extortionate means to collect gambling debts and laundered the money, among other crimes. The defendants range in age from 21 to over 80 years old. The charges against the various defendants include the following: conducting an illegal gambling business, conspiracy to commit and attempting to commit Hobbs extortion, conspiracy to commit and attempting to commit collections of extensions of credit by extortionate means, conspiracy to commit money laundering. In addition, transmission of wagering information, as well as forfeiture allegations. And some of you may have already been able to obtain those from the public record, but there will be hard copies available for you at the end, listing all the various indictments and all the different defendants that are listed. All right. As alleged in the indictment, though, the organization operated in Northeast Indiana and elsewhere from on or about January of 2021 to on or about April 29th of 2026. The indictment was unsealed on April 29th, 2026, following the execution of arrest and search warrants accompanying the indictment. In a few moments, Special Agent O'Malley will discuss those details of that execution of those warrants in more detail. But through the indictment, the grand jury has alleged that the defendants built an illegal gambling organization that operated both online and in person at two northern Indiana businesses. According to the indictment, members of the organization used threats and intimidation to collect on gambling debts. And my office bears the burden of proving that the defendants are guilty of these charges, which I am confident we will do with the leadership from Mr. Benson and Mr. Wolf. In the meantime, I want to emphasize 2 points. First, each and every defendant named in this indictment is entitled to a fair jury of their peers and is innocent until proven guilty by a court of law. And second, the investigation is ongoing. The law enforcement team will investigate any additional crimes revealed by the evidence and any additional subjects who might have participated in the alleged criminal activity. If you believe that you are a victim of the alleged organization, or if you have any information relevant to the cases, or you know yourself to be a likely target, now's the time. Please come forward. And Special Agent O'Malley is going to talk, but we're interested. And with that, Special Agent O'Malley.
Thank you, Adam.
Okay, so let me just jump in here. Did you guys hear him particularly say that this is an active and ongoing investigation that's just getting started? They're going to continue to investigate based on the evidence that they have now collected, and they are asking for anyone who has been targeted or involved in this organization or ring to be contacting them. So you see the purpose of this by these gentlemen. So they are stepping forward now. This is basically a call out to the public for tips. They want victims and they want tips on this because they're just opening this can of worms. This isn't the end game. This is the opening of a can of worms that is something else to behold. Okay, so I just wanted to reinforce to you guys that he specifically said we will be investigating based on the evidence we're collecting, and anyone who's been targeted by this group or been involved in this, reach out to us, okay? Because they're begging for info, essentially now.
Good morning. My name is Tim O'Malley. I'm the special agent in charge of the FBI's Indianapolis field office, which covers the entire state of Indiana. Yesterday's arrests are the result of a multi-year coordinated investigation involving several law enforcement agencies. The goal was to shut down an illegal gambling and extortion operation that was exploiting individuals and undermining legitimate businesses in our community. Let me be clear, though, this was not a case of harmless or casual gambling. It was part of a broader pattern of criminal behavior that included coercion, intimidation, and financial exploitation. In many cases, illegal gambling is an entry point. From there, it fuels other ways to generate money and additional criminal behavior. And this type of activity does not remain contained. It creates fear in the community, it creates pressure, and it impacts the entire community, not just those who are directly involved. There is no place in our society for coercion or intimidation, and those who conduct this conduct must be held accountable. This investigation would not have been possible without the close collaboration of our federal, state, and local law enforcement partners. Yesterday, more than 150 law enforcement officers were involved in police operations. Agencies involved included the FBI, IRS, HSI, the Indiana State Police, the U.S. Marshal Service, and the Indiana Gaming Commission. Yesterday, we executed 22 arrest warrants, and arrests were made across the country, not only in northern Indiana, but we also made arrests in Chicago, Boston, New York, Sarasota, Florida, Los Angeles, Mesa, Arizona, and San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Did you guys hear that? Okay, did you guys hear that? Over 150 officers executed 22 arrests in Sarasota, Florida, in Indiana, in Boston, in New York, Mesa, Arizona, Puerto Rico, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You guys get that? Let me back it up a little bit so you can hear it, because this is important too, because we're going to look at this. Let's see.
The U.S. Marshal Service, and the Indiana Gaming Commission. Yesterday, we executed 22 arrest warrants, and arrests were made across the country, not only in northern Indiana, but we also made arrests in Chicago.
Pay attention. Okay, northern Indiana, right? Check. Chicago, check.
Boston.
Boston, check.
New York.
New York, check.
Sarasota, Florida.
Sarasota, Florida, check.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, check.
Mesa, Arizona.
Mesa, Arizona, check.
And San Juan, Puerto Rico.
San Juan, Puerto fucking Rico, check.
We also executed 7 search warrants at locations across northern Indiana. And these warrants were executed at homes and businesses associated with this organization. I believe yesterday's arrests and warrants indicate the depth of our involvement in our investigation. But our goal is to completely dismantle this group. I would like to hear from anyone else who has information regarding the activities of these individuals or others who may have supported or protected their criminal activities.
Whoa, he's also making the call out for tips. He wants any information on anyone involved in any way with this entire group, or if you know anything about anyone involved with this entire group. So pay attention.
For those who may have interacted with the defendants, I want you to know that we're primarily interested in those who organized the network, who took bets, who collected debts, and who provided support and protection. So if you have information, I do want to hear from you. Tips to the FBI are completely confidential, and I encourage you to call with whatever information you have. The number to call is 1-800-CALL-FBI. Thank you.
One 1-800-CALL-FBI.
In closing, and then I can take a few questions from you, I want to end up bringing to your attention the specific charges and penalties that are associated with them. But I want you to understand that to end up talking about what each defendant may be charged with and what their sentences are would be very premature, and also because they are presumed innocent, it would be speculative.
Look at these guys. Again, Look at these guys. Okay. FBI wants everything you know.
But to name the penalties associated with the charges, I'll do that. One of the, and there's several different categories, and then you can take a look at the indictments to find that answer for yourself. Illegal gambling business, maximum penalty of 5 years and a $250,000 fine. Hobbs Act extortion conspiracy, that's a maximum penalty of 20 years with a $250,000 fine. Collection of extensions of credit by extortionate means, that's a maximum penalty of 20 years and a $250,000 fine. Conspiracy to commit money laundering, 20 years with a $500,000 fine. And transmission of wagering information, 2 years with up to a $250,000 fine. And also on top of it, potential supervised release and further forfeiture action. As I stated, though, each of the charges are outlined in the documents. If you haven't otherwise obtained them, you can do so here shortly. And so, with that, I will open up for questions. But I must, and I will. I'll call on each of you. What I will ask to help me, please identify yourself and your agency, and then also please understand that there are many things that I cannot talk about because it would be inappropriate to do so because of this early stage, and that we will typically be sticking to what's stated in the indictments, which are quite
Again,
detailed, as I believe you'll
early stage.
find. But with that, I believe, sir, you raised your hand first. Yes, sir. As Special Agent O'Malley mentioned, it is not just harmless or casual gambling. It's part of a broader pattern of criminal activity that included coercion, intimidation, and financial exploitation. Ma'am. Your agency? Thank you.
We read over the indictment, and there were some threats made against the daughter who went to Valpo. Wondering if, I know this isn't really part of the investigation, but wondering if there were any sort of physical harm, also any sort of, worse killings, anything like that that you can talk about, and what happened out of that threat with the daughter.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a great question, but it would be inappropriate under these circumstances for us to go through those facts. What's going to be happening is that we've got a series of additional hearings. There will be additional pleadings and things that happen in an open court where it's appropriate to discuss. But to go fact-specific, ma'am, it would be inappropriate here at this time, please, respectfully. Sir. Could you please restate the question for me? I'm sorry. I understand what paper. Oh, I understand. These agents were targeting those that are propagating illegal gambling and using extortionate means to do so. That has nothing to do with anyone's demographics.
Did you hear that bullshit? Okay, so in other words, this guy tries to say, well, are you targeting Greeks? Or are you targeting, are you racially profiling? Yeah, let me back that up a sec.
Illegal gambling and using extortionate means to do so. That has nothing to do with anyone's demographics, to be blunt. That isn't a factor. It's whether or not they're committing crimes. That's a demographic. That is and that's the reason why we've made the allegations as they are. Does that answer your question, sir? Okay. Ma'am. Ma'am, respectfully, that would be now getting into the fact-specific data that would be only appropriate if we're in further court proceedings. Today is to inform everyone of the charges, the work that's been done, and what the nature of the charges and the penalties. Perhaps there's another time to ask that question, but it also needs to be fair, because one of the things that's very important about this, and we want to make it clear, you hear that this is only an allegation only, and it's not been proven, and everyone's entitled to those rules. That isn't just lip service. It's very serious to us. We want to make sure that it's proper, that everyone's rights are met and understood. But to answer that specific question and any other factually specific questions that anyone has, I'll have to respectfully decline at this time, if I may.
Can I just quickly ask you this then? Do you guys have any intention of going back to either the home or the businesses that were raided? Is the work done, and do you have more to do?
Ma'am, I will say this, and this is important for everyone that is both a victim, a witness, and a potential target of this. They're not done until the final bell. There are multiple defendants that are here. The investigation will continue on as the information comes in, and they will follow it all the way to the end and its leads. That's the most direct answer I can give you, but I won't talk about the specifics, because that then gets into the tactics at this point as they're conducting their investigation. Ma'am, you were next.
Thank you. Two questions. They're kind of intertwined.
Your agency, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Lizzie Kaboski. I work with the Times in Northwest Indiana.
Very good, ma'am. Thank you.
Are the illegal gambling sites still active, and are both of the businesses that were raided yesterday going to be shut down?
I am going to say this, ma'am. That as it relates to the establishments that you said that were raided, there's some coverage that's been of that. The only thing I will say is that in the indictments there is some specific references. The documents include the forfeiture language. And that's the only information at this point that I would share, other than saying that these agents are going to end up working this case and following every lead to where it takes them.
And how about those websites, the gambling websites? Are they still active?
Ma'am, at this point, I'm gonna. It's a factually specific, and I'm gonna decline that at this point. Okay, thank you. I'll take them in order. I know you've had a couple. Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I know when we look at the indictment, there are payments ranging from hundreds of dollars to as much as $15,000. There was that Super Bowl line pull card that ranged from $500 to $25,000 per line. Can you give us an idea of how much money total that we are looking at here?
Ma'am, that is a very fact-specific thing, and it would be inappropriate here. But what I will tell you is you do have the indictment, and those things are a matter of public record, and that's what we have to stand on at this point. It would be improper for us to go through those details just right now.
Do you know a total number of victims then that we could point to?
The number of victims are identified in the indictment of those that are charged that have gone through. But please understand, the investigation is ongoing, and so if that is, you have the number that have been through the grand jury at this point and returned the indictment.
Boom. Did you hear that too? This is an open case. Okay. This is an open door. It's an active investigation. He said, yeah, there's only the number of victims for these particular ones that have been charged, but you don't know how many more are going to be charged in this, or how many more grand juries are going to be sending out indictments on this.
Ma'am.
Good morning. I'm Lisa Nunez with ABC7.
Yes, ma'am.
Reading through the indictment, you see a number of individuals with their family members or former employees of restaurants that were participating in this operation. Do we believe these individuals were coerced or forced to participate in this operation, or were this is their own free will?
That's a great question, ma'am. But again, it's going to be a very fact specific. At this early stage, it would be inappropriate for us to end up going through those things. The defendants are just having their initial hearings right now, so it would be inappropriate for us to have that discussion here at this point. Okay, sir.
Mike Krauser, WBBM Radio Chicago.
Yes, sir.
It's alleged that these guys were extending credit to gamblers. That would seem a little unusual. Is there a reason for that?
Respectfully, that would be a question for them to answer if they chose to. That's not something that we're in a position to be able to detail the direction of our investigation at this time. And I'm just going to keep working my way through. You, sir.
Andrew Garcia with WJOB in Hammond. Are you able to comment on this time, or is there any reason to believe that because of the nature of how this was like all over the country type of thing, that or is it that there may have been sporting events? Was this large enough that there were possible reasons to believe that outcomes could have been impacted or influenced by these bettors or anything of that nature?
Sir, that would be really speculative for us to do, and quite honestly, we're focused on those matters that have been through the grand jury and have been returned as the indictments, all of which that you have the detailed indictments for you to be able to reference. Ma'am.
Meredith Pate, Post Tribune. Can you speak to rumors that we've heard in the community of investigators have found any potential links to Sheriff Oscar Martinez? And also generally, if investigators had any fear, piggybacking off your question, fear that some of these threats could turn physical, and did that kind of motivate you for in the investigation?
Okay, you asked a lot in there. No, it's okay, But I mean, you asked multiple questions at once, all right? So please allow me to answer the first one. You asked about a particular public official. We are not in a position to end up talking about anyone other than those that are currently indicted, that are a part of this investigation. But as we said, this investigation is ongoing. If anyone that is a witness or a victim or knows themselves to be a potential target of those things, now is the time to talk. These agents are interested in what it is that they have to say. But I won't speculate as to any one individual that's not named in the indictments. Okay? So I want to make sure that that's the clearest answer, right? Is that I won't speculate as to any of those. We are open to the information. The investigations will continue ongoing, right? So that's the first part. What's the rest of your question? I'm sorry.
If you can speak generally to, was there fear that these various threats could turn physical against the victims in this case? And did that motivate the investigation?
Oh, okay. All right. I think I understand your question. Forgive me if I get it wrong. All right. If you're asking if there were threats as it relates to any of the victims in there, what I would say is that the indictments, particularly those that reference the extortionate, the Hobbs, I mean, there are several different ways that those are covered in the indictments. That is discussed there, and that's as far as I can go as it relates to the specific victims. Does that answer your question, ma'am? I just want to make sure I understand, because there were like several, and I just want to make sure I'm straight with you.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm really just asking if you were concerned that someone was really going to get hurt in the process of this, that it wasn't just delivering pizza boxes to someone's house. You were going to see some actual some violent acts.
Okay. Here's what I'll answer. We take any threats against another person seriously. And I'm going to say that on a 30,000-foot level. I'm not going into any of the specific allegations. But you can see the indictments will speak for themselves of what it is that was brought before the grand jury, identifying what those concerns were. Okay? All right. So I'm going to circle back. I haven't talked to you yet, sir. All right.
Tom Watkins, Times and Northwest Indiana. Are those mugshots available on the web?
Well, first of all, you're referring to them as mugshots. I would not refer to them as. I understand that may be what you call them, sir. Those. Pardon me. Those are. It is on display here today as part of this press conference. As far as the specific copies, they would be. Oh yes. This is why it is that you have a really, really good team around you, all right? This is First Assistant Scott Proctor, and he advises me that there are indeed copies, sir. All right, and I'll get back, I'll work there. Go ahead, sir.
I know that you have a lot of information you can talk about this later, but can you describe at all the role the restaurants played in this operation and whether or not they were betting sites or betting
Yeah, guys, I know it's impossible to hear the questions, but it's the answers we're interested in.
Okay, you used the word can, and I'm going to be a lawyer for a second. And what I'm going to say to you, sir, is that the indictments have to speak for themselves, but the indictments do make reference as it relates to the forfeiture actions, which I believe is the question you're looking for. I believe that you'll be able to find that in the public documents, in the public record for the question you're asking. And so sometimes, in order to make sure that the process is fair and that everyone gets their due process, their right to a jury trial, and a fair process, that we have to end up speaking through pleadings and such, and that we have to exercise restraint because we believe in the system being fair. So forgive me for shutting you down and then some of the other questions factually that you're asking. But what I would say is you can find information related to those establishments in the indictments. Ma'am.
Given that these restaurants have been around for a long time, should any people who have dined at these restaurants be worried about maybe personal data or their money at all?
I would say that all persons need to be mindful. The only thing that I would say is all persons need to be mindful of their information, no matter whether it's a restaurant that's subject to a forfeiture or part of an investigation, or just in general. And so, but to comment specifically about this case, it would be inappropriate. Sir.
Is there any estimate of how much money they would bring in over the 21 to 26?
We're at a point right now, sir, we have to rely upon the indictments, and that's a very fact-specific matter that would only be appropriate once we're further along in the process, please. Is anyone else? Oh, yes, ma'am.
Is the government requesting the detention of each of these individuals?
You said, okay, her question for everyone so that we're clear on it, she asked if we were seeking pretrial detention on each of the individuals. The answer to that question is no. And as we are approaching each and every one of these defendants in a case-by-case basis, there are some circumstances where we are and some where we're not. Pretrial detention is for many different reasons. One is to end up addressing the potential for any flight risk. We want to make sure that we're providing protection to the community and to the witnesses and the victims in the case. We want an orderly disposition of the proceedings as we go. And so it's the flight risk and public safety that are principally driving that. But each one is going to be in a case-by-case basis, and you can find the data as it relates to the individual defendants in the court record where we've filed the appropriate motions. Does that answer it for you, ma'am?
It does, yes. Quick follow-up. What about
Yes.
Jimmy Geradimos and Dean Giolamos, those two individuals who seem to be the ringleaders?
I'm going to have to rely upon the pleading specific, and we state the reasons. When we do these detention hearings, we do articulate the reasons for such motions. But any further, I can't. Is there anyone else? Hey, all right.
So, I know it's laid out in the indictment.
Mm-hmm.
But could you verbally just explain to us the role of this family? How high up did this go within the Geradimos family?
Oh, that's a very fact-specific thing, ma'am. And you already know it, and I'm glad that you acknowledged it. So therefore, I can go back to where I was before, and that is that on April 16th, 2026, they returned a 28-count indictment charging James L. Geradimos, Jimmy the Greek, right, and Dean Giolamos, a.k.a. Dean Gem, and Chris Geradimos, and then 19 others as running the illegal gambling conspiracy.
But they're not all related.
Oh, you mean?
Familially related. Of the 19, they're not all family.
Oh, well, actually, there's 22. 22, but their names are very different from each other. So that's what I would leave with that. Is there anyone else with any additional questions, if I can? All right. Well, then I would want to end up circling back and just to say the same thing that we said before. Anything that we've talked about today These are allegations only. Every defendant is entitled to a fair jury and fair due process as we go about this. And these were provided for information to the public about the nature of the charges, the names of the individuals, and any of the details can be found in those indictments. But I would would close back up with this, is that if there's anyone out there that has additional information as these cases are ongoing, please come forward. Make contact with these officers. If in fact they're witnesses or victims, or for that matter, they know themselves to be potential targets, as I said, now's the time. Because these agents aren't done working. They're not. And they won't stop. They're going to end up following it because their overall objective is dismantling this organization. That is, if you know yourself to be, in fact, a target, a participant, they are coming after you. So thank you today.
Oh,
Good morning.
oh my God. Oh my God. Let me play it. Okay, cover your ears.
Oh my God!
Did you hear that? Let me let him say that again, okay?
For that matter, they know themselves to be potential targets. As I said, now's the time. Because these agents aren't done working. They're not. And they won't stop. They're going to end up following it because their overall objective is dismantling this organization. That is, if you know yourself to be, in fact, a target, a participant, they are coming after you. So thank you today.
Oh, mic drop. Absolute mic drop. They are coming after you if you were a participant. Mic drop. Mic drop. Now, guys, there's so much to do. I don't even know if we'll have time tonight to get through everything, but let's move on, okay? So what I'll do now, I'll try to keep moving, okay? All right, so here we go. This is your official press release here. This says, I'm sorry about that. This says, U.S. Attorney Adam Mildred announces indictment in Operation Porterhouse Parlay, alleging an illegal gambling conspiracy, extortion, and money laundering. And you see, this is where I think we need to start to realize what this is actually about, okay? Actually about. Okay? On April 16th, 2026, a federal grand jury in Hammond, Indiana returned a 28-count indictment charging James L. Gerodamos, a.k.a. Jimmy the Greek, Dean Gialamos, a.k.a. Dean Jim, Chris Gerodamos, and 19 others with running an illegal gambling conspiracy that used extortionate means, that means extortion, to collect gambling debts and laundered the money, that means money laundering, among other crimes. According to the indictment, the organization operated in Northwest Indiana and elsewhere, which is key. That little phrase, every word in this matters. And elsewhere, from about 2021 to 2026. The indictment was unsealed yesterday following the execution of arrests and search warrants accompanying the indictment. Through this indictment, the grand jury has alleged that the defendants built an illegal gambling organization, that means criminal enterprise, that operated both online and in person at two northern Indiana businesses. That means fronts, okay? Said U.S. Attorney Mildred. According to the indictment, members of the organization used threats and intimidation to collect gambling debts. My office bears the burden of proving that the defendants are guilty of these charges, which I am confident we will do. In the meantime, I want to make 2 points. First, every defendant named in this indictment is entitled to a fair trial by jury of their peers and is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And second, like all investigations, this one is continuing. My office will investigate any additional crimes revealed by the evidence and any additional subjects who might have participated in the alleged criminal activity. If you believe you are a victim of the alleged organization or if you have any information relevant to it, you're encouraged to contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. Illegal gambling operations often fuel broader criminal activity, which is key, and exploit our communities for profit, said FBI Indianapolis Special Agent in Charge Timothy O'Malley. The FBI, in partnership with our enforcement colleagues, is committed to dismantling these criminal networks and ensuring that those responsible are brought to justice. Today marks the culmination of a lengthy, complex, and collaborative investigation, said Indiana Gaming Commission Law Enforcement Superintendent Brock Pilgrim. The indictments, arrests, and search warrants all send a clear message. Those who attempt to corrupt the integrity of licensed gaming operations in Indiana will be held accountable. Investigated by FBI, IRS, Indiana Gaming Commission, with assistance key from ISP, U.S. Marshals Homeland Security. This case is being prosecuted by Assistant U.S. Attorneys Philip Benson and Kevin Wolf. Okay, so there's some echoing there. Okay, so do you see that that release is basically echoing what he was saying? And I want to make you aware, just so we all pay attention, notice how careful he was being, using words like allegations, using words like innocent until proven guilty, using words like I can't speak on that, only what's in the publicly available indictment. You know, so step by step, I get the feeling they are being extremely careful with this, which is key because they don't want to mess it up. Okay. Now I'm gonna let's take a look at some of the coverage. Okay. So this is a nice one here. This says federal indictment details large-scale illegal gambling operation in Northwest Indiana. Okay. Okay. A sweeping federal indictment unsealed in the U.S. District Court of Northern District of Indiana outlines what prosecutors describe as a long-running, multi-state illegal gambling enterprise centered in Lake County. According to the indictment, the operation allegedly led by James Gerodamos, known as Jimmy the Greek, and Dean Gialamas, functioned as a structured criminal organization involving more than 20 individuals with defined roles, and here's key, including leaders, bookies, collectors, and drumroll, enforcers. Okay. And they show some nice photography here. Federal prosecutors allege the group ran an extensive illegal sports betting business from 2021 to 2026. The organization reportedly used offshore style gambling websites, phone lines, and text messages to take bets on sporting events nationwide. Unlike legal sport books, bettors were allegedly given lines of credit, allowing them to place wagers without upfront payment, creating large gambling debts. This is Mafia style, okay? Bookies working under the organization handled bettors directly, collecting losses and paying out winnings. Authorities say the operation used coded accounts and passwords to manage bettors. Listen to these points, okay? Tracked wins and losses digitally, conducted collections in cash, checks, wires, and apps like Zelle, laundered money through businesses and disguised transactions as legitimate payments. Two local restaurants, Gino's Steakhouse in Merrillville and Paragon in Hobart, are alleged to have been used as hubs to collect and distribute gambling proceeds. The indictment also details a major side operation involving Super Bowl line pool cards. The gambling sheets reportedly sold for $500 to $25,000 per line, generating between $700,000 and $900,000 annually, tied to the Super Bowl alone. Beyond illegal gambling, prosecutors accuse members of using threats and intimidation to collect debts. One section of the indictment outlines a conspiracy involving a victim who allegedly owed gambling debts. Investigators detailed repeated calls, texts, and escalating threats, including attempts to track down the victim's home and workplace, contacting the victim's family members, sending individuals to confront the victim in person, explicitly threatening through voicemails and text messages. In one instance, a person associated with the group allegedly traveled to Texas to confront a victim and demand payment. The indictment further claims members took steps steps to detect law enforcement activity. In April 2026, one defendant allegedly followed an undercover agent at high speeds on I-65 when investigators described as counter surveillance tactics. These defendants face a range of federal charges, including operating an illegal gambling business, Hobbs Act extortion conspiracy, collection of credit through extortion, money laundering, wire communications, and illegal gambling. Prosecutors allege the operation involved 5 or more individuals, operated continuously for years, generated significant daily revenue, and extended well beyond Northwest Indiana into other states. Okay? And now, FBI raids Northwest Indiana restaurants in illegal gambling probe. Okay? Federal agents carried out court-authorized searches Wednesday at several businesses in Northwest Indiana as part of an illegal gambling investigation. The FBI confirmed it is leading an operation involving multiple law enforcement agencies at several locations in northern Indiana and in other states. This is an FBI-led multi-agency operation, and court-authorized law enforcement activity is occurring at multiple locations in northern Indiana and other states. There is no known threat to the public. Okay? Gino's restaurant in Merrillville. Paragon restaurant in Hobart. Authorities did not specify how many locations were involved or name the businesses being searched. Federal agents raided 2 popular Northwest Indiana restaurants, carrying boxes and evidence out of Paragon restaurant in Hobart and Gino's Steakhouse in Merrillville. Federal agents claim 2 well-known dining establishments ran a sports betting enterprise that generated up to $900,000 a year on the Super Bowl alone and used intimidation to collect debts. Okay? And then you got the same thing here. That's Gino's. Okay? FBI, IRS agents raid homes, restaurants. Indictment alleges gambling operation. Federal agents were seen raiding several properties on Wednesday in Northwest Indiana, including a home in Cherryville, 2 restaurants, Paragon in Hobart and Gino's in Merrillville. Boxes and boxes of documents and other items were removed from the Cherryville home on Wednesday morning. A newly unsealed federal indictment alleges that the 2 Northwest Indiana restaurants were used to cover up a multi-state gambling, extortion, and money laundering ring for years. Oh my God. Hold on. Oh my God. 22 people have been indicted, but the alleged leaders of the criminal operation are James Geraldamos and Dean Gialamas, who prosecutors say led the criminal operation. James Giardamos has previously been convicted of dealing explosive materials without a license when he was found to be in possession of 16,000 pounds of commercial illegal fireworks and served 6 months in prison for that conviction. This federal indictment alleges the restaurant owner, James Giardamos, and Dean Gialamas ran a structured criminal organization involving more than 20 individuals with defined roles, including leaders, bookies, collectors, and enforcers. Okay? Now, starting to sound good. What's going to get even better? Because, guys, now I'm extremely proud of this. Okay, let me say, I spent the entire day yesterday looking for what we're about to see tonight, and I guarantee you, I haven't seen a single person online post this yet. I haven't seen a single person online discuss it yet, except for the couple Indiana and the Chicago news stations that have referenced this. I've not seen this anywhere online whatsoever, and you guys are going to see it and hear it for yourselves tonight because we got a copy of it, okay? We got a copy of it. And this is the actual indictment. It's 87 fucking pages, okay? 87 pages. United States of America versus James Geraldamos, a.k.a. Jimmy the Greek. Dean Gialamas, a.k.a. Dean Gem. Chris Giardamos. Bassam Fawazi Ibrahim, a.k.a. Donnie Brasco. Sanad Walid Ibrahim, aka Sanad Taka. Peter Pavlopoulos, aka Pete Goodies. Filippo Rovito, aka Gigi. Michael D. Campbell, aka Michael Wayout, aka Chucky Hoffa. Ehab Mustafa, aka Eddie. Steve Armenta, Samuel A. Nuzzo, Alexander Giagianis, aka Alex Giros. Gus Kaporis, aka Dean's Runner. Rami F. Mansour, aka Rami Straight Flush. Nenad Radoja, aka Butch Hunky. Marcus Vladimir Gans, aka Vladimir Gans. Paul Franzi, aka Paulie Scarf. Athena Olga Gerodemos, Elias Chris Gerodemos. James Strezovsky, aka Jim Macedonian. Andrew Nguyen, aka Caesar's Andrew. Giuseppe Manzi, aka Joe Peloso. So there we go. That's your mob names, right? Jimmy the Greek, Dean Jim, Donnie Brasco, Sanad Taka, Pete Goodies, Gigi, Michael Wayout, Chucky Hoffa, Eddie, Alex Giros, Dean's Runner, Rami Straight Flush, Butch Hunky, Vladimir Gons, Paulie Scarf, Jim Macedonian, Caesar's Andrew, and Joe Peloso. The grand jury charges count one, operation of illegal gambling business. The Gerald Damos gambling organization was headquartered in Lake County, Indiana. Defendants James Gerald Damos and Dean G. Lamas were the leaders of the Gerald Damos gambling organization. The Gerald Damos gambling organization used internet websites which included but not limited to ABC Wagering and Garden City Bets to conduct its bookmaking activities. In addition to the websites, the Gerald Damos gambling organization also used telephone numbers and text messaging to conduct its bookmaking activities. Bets were placed in the Northern District of Indiana and elsewhere in the United States by the use of internet and telephone. Hey, thank you quietly for the win from the wife in silence. Thank you very much. Thank you. And while we're at it, I want to say thank you to David Rogers for gifting the membership and Mustang for becoming a new member. Welcome, Mustang. Now you get to see the spicy shit. Thank you very much, Mustang, quietly, and David Rogers, and congrats to whoever it was who won that membership. Thank you very much. The websites and telephone numbers were staffed and supported by individuals who resided outside of the United States. A bettor could use the website or a telephone number to place bets on various types of sporting activities. The Gerald Damos gambling organization required a bettor to establish a betting account. The betting account consisted of an account number, a password provided by either James Gerald Damos or Dean Gialamos. The betting account was typically set up by an agent or bookie who worked for the Gerald Damos gambling operation. After receiving necessary password and username from James Gerald Damos, the agents and bookies worked in the Northern District of Indiana and elsewhere in the U.S. The Gerald Damos gambling organization did not require a bettor to put any money into their betting account before placing a bet. Instead, the Gerald Damos gambling organization provided gamblers lines of credit, allowing bettors to begin their betting almost immediately through the illegal gambling websites or over the phone without needing any actual cash to do so. The Gerald Damos gambling organization bookies and bettors were required to enter their account number and password on the website or give their account number and password over the telephone before placing a sports bet. The odds for these sport bets were published on the illegal sports gambling websites and were detailed over the phone. The results of the bettors winning and losing sports bets were recorded on the website. Okay? The Geraldamos Gambling Organization relied on its agents and bookies to collect payments from losing bettors and make payments to winning bettors. Collections from and payments to bettors were made in the Northern District of Indiana and elsewhere in the United States. The agents and bookies repeatedly forwarded money collected from losing bettors to leaders of the Geraldamos Gambling Organization. If certain agents and bookies could not make a complete payment to a winning bettor, the Geraldamos Gambling Organization would cover that payment. The financial relationship between the Geraldamos Gambling Organization and its agents and bookies varied. Members of the Geraldamos Gambling Organization communicated regularly with one another by telephone, email, and text message, and by Zelle and in person to maintain the orderly operation of the sports betting and orderly collection of gambling debt. On almost a weekly basis, gambling information would be transmitted by the Geraldamos Gambling Organization as to how much money was either due or to be collected from their bettors. This information was usually transmitted via text messaging indicating that the letter M minus money or P plus money followed by a specific dollar amount. Geraldamos and Gialamas also directly shared via text messages the split between them for the illegal gambling websites they shared, managed, and controlled, as well as certain bettors they split between them. Members of the Geraldamos Gambling Organization often met their agents, bookies, and some bettors in person to collect and deliver payments for the sports bets. These meetings often took place inside public buildings and parking lots. Sounds legit. Sounds legit, right? Members of the Geraldamos Gambling Organization use businesses operated by James Geraldamos, Gino's Steakhouse. Okay, now here's where it starts to get good. Okay, so listen up. So they used Gino's Steakhouse and Paragon Restaurant to facilitate the Geraldamos gambling operation. Okay, these two establishments were used to collect gambling proceeds, pay off winning bettors, and transfer gambling proceeds between the two Geraldamoses. So you see what's happening. This is becoming a front, right? It's becoming a front for this organization, these restaurants in northern Indiana. Members of the Geraldamos Gambling Organization also used employees. Listen to this. They also used employees at the two restaurants, at Gino's Steakhouse and Paragon Restaurant, to facilitate the collection of and distribution of gambling revenue from agents, bookies, and bettors involved in the Geraldamos Gambling Organization. Okay? So the employees at the restaurants, some of them were facilitating the passing of money between the bookies, the agents, the bettors, etc. These payments ranged from hundreds of dollars to as much as $50,000. The Geraldamos Gambling Organization, I mean, this is a throwback to like the 1920s and 30s, is it not? Is this not like mob style operation here? Okay. The Geraldamos Gambling Organization accepted payments from losing bettors in cash, checks, wire payments, and online money apps like Zelle. The payments from losing bettors included bettors who lived in the Northern District of Indiana and elsewhere. Okay, the Geraldamos Gambling Organization made payments to winning bettors in cash or by reducing the outstanding amount due from the bettors. The payments to winning bettors included bettors who lived in Northern District of Indiana and elsewhere. The Geraldamos Gambling Organization allowed gambling payments to be mailed, wired, or transferred via online money apps to the organization. Members of the organization kept track of their bettors through illegal online betting sites. Access to the illegal online betting sites was controlled and managed by Gialamas and Geraldamos, who provided access to the illegal online betting sites to their bookies and bettors. The Geraldamos Gambling Organization made efforts to hide this bookmaking and the bookmaking activities of the organization by using various aliases. So this is what I mean about the money laundering in the fronts, okay? They used various aliases, numerous bank accounts, several business entities, payments disguised as legitimate businesses' expenses or loans, when in reality, the payments were transfers of gambling-related proceeds and or payments of gambling debt. And this is called money laundering. This is money laundering. This is why they're done. These guys are done. Okay? And trust me, if they're running this out of several well-known restaurants, there are cops in on this. Okay, there are cops who were probably betting in this organization. There are probably cops getting free meals at these restaurants. Yeah, if I were these feds, I'd be asking everybody what officers frequented, what ISP officers, what local officers frequented these restaurants and were buddy with the owners of these restaurants. Okay, moving on. This is why I said this. There are people in Indiana shitting their pants right now. Members of the Damos gambling organization provided instructions to bettors on how they should make out checks that were used to pay sports bets. Bettors followed those instructions and made payments. This is the money laundering aspect. The organization provided instructions on how to pay through wire, payment apps, which would appear to be legitimate payments for non-gambling related activities. In other words, they say, pay me for catering, pay me for catering some event at your house. You owe me $5,000? Send me a check for $5,000 and make it payable to Geno's for $5,000 for catering. Okay. Members of the organization provided instructions to bettors explaining the gambling debts could be paid by wiring money or transmitting money via online electronic payment apps to Damos family members. Oh, pay my wife. Yeah. Send that $5,000 to my wife. Okay. Members of the Damos gambling organization extended credit to agents, bookies, and bettors as an inducement to become a bettor or bookie in the Damos organization. Bookies themselves usually received a 25% commission on all of their bettors losing bets. As an additional incentive to individuals involved in the organization, James Damos, that's Jimmy the Greek, promised monetary compensation, 50% of the debt collected to certain individuals if they were successful in collecting back due gambling debts owed to the organization. So that's how you get the enforcers to go enforce. You say, look, that guy owes me 10 grand. I'll give you 50% if you go get that 10 grand, pull it out of that guy's ass. Sports betting with the Super Bowl. Another integral part of the Damos gambling organization involved a widespread sale of Super Bowl line pool betting cards ranging from $500 to $25,000 per line, grossing between $700,000 to $900,000 each annual NFL Super Bowl game. Hey guys, anybody out there a customer of Geno's or Paragon bet on the Super Bowl while you're over there at Geno's or Paragon? Contact the FBI. The Super Bowl line pool cards were a gambling instrument used by the organization that operated as follows. Jimmy the Greek or one of his associates would approach an individual and ask them if they wanted a line or a line pool card. The following example is an example of a blank line pool card. So there it is. All right. The line pool card had 10 blank lines with a blank strip to the left of each line. A bettor would buy a line for a fixed price ranging between $500 and $25,000 per line. Either the bettor, James Damos, or one of his associates would place the bettor's name, usually using a nickname or alias, or sometimes even the actual bettor's name on the line. After all the lines were sold and paid for on any given card, James Damos would remove the black strip, revealing a randomized single-digit number from 0 to 9 next to each line. The following is a completed Super Bowl line pool card with the bettors' names redacted and laying on top of a Geno's Steakhouse restaurant menu. Look at that. So that's one of your line cards. Okay, everyone, pay attention. If you're out there falling asleep, look at this just to wise up. Okay, look at this. This is your line card. So that's all your names with the random numbers. The winner of the card was determined by adding together both teams' final score in the Super Bowl, taking the last single digit of the totaled Super Bowl score, and then matching that single digit to the randomized single digit number revealed by removing the black strip from the line pool card. For example, if the final score was 14 to 13, these numbers would be added for a total of 27. The winning number for the line pool card would be 7. So you guys see how this works? So I would assume this is what this means, right? They collect 10 bets per card. So let's say it's $1,000 per line. So they've now collected $10,000 for this card. The winning number is 1/10 of the total, right? I don't know. Does a winner get all of it? 25%, 50%? The organization consists of individuals who act as financiers of the organization, bookies, money launderers, and enforcers. For example, in furtherance of the efforts to conceal from law enforcement and further the continuance of the organization, on April 9th, 2026, Michael Campbell engaged in covert counter-surveillance activities in an attempt to locate and discover if the Gerald Damos organization was under law enforcement investigation as follows. As undercover law enforcement agents were leaving Gerald Damos on the evening of April 9th, 2026, one of the surveillance agents noticed a GMC truck similar to one driven by Michael Campbell following the undercover agent in an attempt to determine where the undercover agent was going. The driver of the GMC vehicle was later positively identified as Michael Campbell. The undercover agent saw the GMC vehicle also and noticed or notified surveillance units. Campbell stayed behind the undercover agent for a few blocks as the undercover agent was heading eastbound on US 30. Campbell then moved into the far left lane. As the undercover agent merged onto the ramp to go southbound on I-65, Campbell made a last-second erratic move to cross all 3 lanes on US 30 to follow the undercover agent as the undercover agent exited US 30 onto the southbound I-65 entrance ramp. Surveillance units followed Campbell as he traveled southbound I-65. Campbell was observed following the undercover agent and driving erratically at speeds in excess of 100 miles per hour. Throughout Campbell's attempts at counter-surveillance, Campbell continuously weaved in and out of traffic, approached the rear of one of the surveillance vehicles, and began tailgating them and flashing his bright lights in an attempt to catch up to the undercover agent. During this time frame, as Michael Campbell approached a construction zone to avoid traffic that was backed up and waiting to enter the construction zone, Campbell activated the emergency amber lights located on the rear tailgate area of the front grille to engage in an illegal U-turn on I-65. Campbell's counter-surveillance pursuit lasted from US 30 I-65 to shortly after the I-65 Lafayette exit and was in excess of 1 hour. Later, Campbell was observed exiting I-65 northbound at exit 178 and stopping at a Speedway gas station in West Lafayette. Sound familiar? West Lafayette. At this time, Campbell was sitting in the black GMC pickup truck and was positively identified as Michael Campbell. The black GMC pickup truck with Indiana license plates was registered to the same labor union that Campbell is a member of. During the occurrence of this event, there were several calls between Gerald Damos and Michael Campbell. In furtherance and as part of the organization's business, from on or about January 2021 through April 2026, both dates being approximate and inclusive in the Northern District of Indiana and elsewhere, defendants Jimmy the Greek, Dean Jim, Chris Gerodamos, Donnie Brasco, Sanad Taka, Pete Goodies, Gigi, Michael Way Out, Chucky Hoffa, Eddie, Steve Ormenta, Samuel Nuzzo, Alex Giros, Dean's Runner, Rami Straight Flush, Butchie Hunky, Vladimir Gons, Paulie Scarf, Athena Gerodamos, Elias Gerodamos, Jimmy Macedonian, Caesar's Andrew, and Joe Pelozzo, and others known and unknown to the grand jury knowingly and intentionally conducted, financed, managed, supervised, directed, and owned all or part of an illegal gambling business. That is a gambling business involving sports betting which operated in violation of the laws of the state of Indiana. Okay, and which involved 5 or more persons who conducted, financed, managed, supervised, directed, and owned all or part of said illegal gambling business, and which remained in substantially continuous operation for a period in excess of 30 days, had a gross revenue of $2,000 in any single day, all in violation of Title 18 U.S. Code, Section 1995 and 2. Okay, so that was the first count. Okay, excuse me. Count 2, conspiracy, Hobbs Act extortion. Okay, from September to 2024 to October of 2025, Jimmy the Greek, Donnie Brasco, Pete Goodies, and Eddie, together with others, did knowingly and intentionally conspire to obstruct, delay, and affect commerce and the movement of articles and commodities in commerce by extortion, in that the defendants and their co-conspirators agreed to obtain property of victim 1, that is money belonging to victim 1, with their consent, which consent was so be induced by wrongful use of actual and threatened force, violence, and fear. Okay, overt acts. After giving victim 1 an extension of credit for illegal gambling on September 5th, 2024, in replying to a text from victim 1, James Gerodamos sent victim 1 the following text: "Okay, an M9820, deduct after I see Pete." On September 9, 2024, James Gerodamos sent victim 1 the following text: "M8820," and another text to Peter Pavopoulos: "Please stop by. Have to pay people." On September 13, Gerodamos and Pavopoulos: "Please call ASAP." In response, Pavopoulos sent Gerodamos the following text: "I'm not avoiding you. I'm trying to get a hold of victim 1. I don't like transferring debt that I don't owe. I can facilitate his money to you, but without a slightly looser deadline. Next week, I could clear up majority of it. As for now, I'm still trying to get the guy or have the guy transfer you $1,500. September 18, 2024, Pavopoulos and Gerodamos or text Gerodamos: "He hasn't returned my call yet. If it's too high, shut him down till he pays." September 23rd at 1:05 p.m., Gerodamos texts victim 1, M20389. At 4:53 p.m., victim 1 replied, "I will get you a wire by Friday latest." At 4:53, Gerodamos replied, "If you want, make it cashier's check to Athena." October 2nd, 2024. At several times, Gerodamos attempted to call victim 1. October 3rd, 2024, several times, Gerodamos called victim 1, got voicemail. At 8:13, James Gerodamos from a different cell called victim 1 and got voicemail. October 14, Gerodamos texts Peter Pavopoulos: "Send me his address. I'll have somebody go down there." Pavopoulos replied, "Take it easy, hill surface." October 21st, 2024 at 1:33, Geraldamos text victim 1, M44078, please call me ASAP. October 22nd, several times, Geraldamos text victim 1, really, WTF, can you call me? October 23rd, Geraldamos text Peter Pavopoulos, send me those two clowns, victim 1 and another address so I can have somebody deliver the gyros to them. I can hear this, right? Hey, send me those two clowns' addresses so I can have somebody deliver the gyros to them. You get what I mean? James Geraldamos, Peter Pavopoulos, please send me that guy information, his name and everything. I'll get somebody down there. I got a guy going down there. Got to get this straightened out. And they don't even answer the fucking call. He's a scumbag. October 27th, Pavopoulos texts James Geraldamos, I made a couple calls yesterday. Don't ask me how I know, but you will be getting an envelope hand-delivered latter part of the week. Excuse me. November 2024, Geraldamos called victim 1, got voicemail. Geraldamos text Peter Pavopoulos, I have to pay Dean? November 29, Geraldamos text Pavopoulos, hey Pete, my buddy is going to Houston next week. Give me his address and stuff. He's going to stay there for 2 weeks. Give me that dickhead victim's address and where he lives and where he works. Thank you. Geraldamos replied, let's get this guy, please. Too long. Geraldamos text victim, M44078. Geraldamos text Pavopoulos, I need information, please. On December 21st, Geraldamos text Pavopoulos, I got Santa Claus going down there. I got Santa Claus going on there. I want to meet up with him for Christmas. Yeah, I got Santa Claus going on there. I want to meet up with him for Christmas. Geraldamos text Peter again on December 28th. Call me. This ain't going away. Need to straighten out. January 3rd, Geraldamos attempted to call victim 1. Geraldamos attempted to call victim 1 again. Text an image of victim 1 to victim 1. On January 4th, Geraldamos text an individual stated, your son's dating victim 1's daughter. Geraldamos text Peter Pavopoulos, victim 1 has a daughter that goes to Valpo. Geraldamos texts another individual, victim 1's got a niece, a nice looking daughter that goes to Valpo. Same day, Geraldamos called a phone number registered to victim 1 and victim 1's ex-wife using a *67 call blocking prefix. Geraldamos called Ibrahim for 154 seconds, then called victim 1 and got a voicemail. February 17, 2025, Geraldamos attempted to call victim 1. Geraldamos texts Ibrahim, find me his address in Texas, please. Geraldamos called Bassam Ibrahim for 100 seconds. Later on February 17th, Bassam Ibrahim attempted to call victim 1. Bassam Ibrahim texts Geraldamos the Google Street Maps view of victim 1's house. Geraldamos called Ibrahim for 137 seconds. Geraldamos attempted to call victim 1, then called Ibrahim for 232 seconds. Geraldamos attempted to call victim 1 again. At 3:16 p.m., Geraldamos called Ibrahim again. Attempted to call victim 1 again. Then at 5:03, Geraldamos texts Peter Pavopoulos an image not visible. He called Ibrahim again for 141 seconds. Called Pavopoulos, call me. Is this that house? Ibrahim called Geraldamos for 62 seconds. Attempted to contact victim 1. Ibrahim attempted to call Geraldamos. Next day, February 18th, Geraldamos attempted to call victim 1 again. Pavopoulos attempted to call victim 1. Geraldamos called Ibrahim for 251 seconds. Then Geraldamos attempted to call victim 1. Ibrahim asked Geraldamos, what's the plan for tonight? Ibrahim then attempted to call victim 1. Geraldamos and Ibrahim attempt to call victim 1. Then he texts victim 1, hey buddy, give me a call. I'm supposed to pick up some money from you for Vince. calls to victim one's daughter. Gerald Demos called Ibrahim for 67 seconds. Ibrahim attempted to call victim one. Ibrahim attempted to call Gerald Demos. Then Ibrahim called victim one's daughter and left the following message. Hey, name redacted. This is Sam, name redacted. If you could please call me when you get a chance. Ibrahim text victim one, call me please. March 8th, 2025, Gerald Demos left a message on victim one's daughter phone stating, daughter's first name, Sam, I'm looking for your dad. Give me a call. I might stop out to see you tomorrow. Looking for victim one's first name. I'll come and see you tomorrow. Gerald Demos left a text message on victim's daughter's phone stating, see you soon, sweetheart. See you soon. Gerald Demos leaves a message on victim one's daughter's phone stating, hey, babe, see you when I come to town in a couple of weeks. This is Berto. See you, sweetheart. Gerald Demos, Ibrahim, and Mustafa left these additional voice messages on the following dates for victim one. 2/21, Ibrahim states, victim one, call me back. 3/25, Gerald Demos states, hey, victim one, 2/19, if you get a chance, send some money, send some guys down to shake my hand. There'll be 2 guys there. They'll hand you my resume. They know who I am, my resume. I got a resume waiting for you. We already got your resume. All right, buddy, take care. Ibrahim states, victim one, this is Sam. Victim one, come on, man, give me a call. I'll be in that area soon. Call me back, buddy. Gerald Demos states, yeah, victim one, it's Sam, man. I need you to call me. Get a hold of me about that 2/19 situation. Give me a call. I'm going to be in Valpo this weekend. Going to have some nice ice cream with a good friend of mine. Okay, remember, that's where the daughter is going to school in Valpo, right? I'm going to be in Valpo this weekend. Going to have some ice cream with a good friend of mine. Ibrahim states, victim one, this is Sam. Give me a call. Ibrahim on the block call says, hey, victim one, this is Sam. You need to give me a call back, man. It's very important I speak to you. Gerald Demos, using an Italian accent. Yeah, using an Italian accent, Gerald Demos says, victim one, call us. I'm tired of you, man. You call us. Figure this out, because it's going to get stupid. You know, my friend? No good. You're no good. No good. You give me a call. We talk. Call me. Gerald Demos states, victim one, give me a call, bro. It's Jimmy. It's been like 6, 7, 8 months. Give me a call because, give me a call, buddy. Give me a call. You said give me time. I don't know how much time you need. Give me a call. Mustafa states, hey, victim, this is Rambo. Give me a call back, brother. Okay. Victim one, give me a call, man. Give me a call. I'm gonna go to Valpo and fuck your daughter. Okay. I'm gonna go to Valpo and fuck your daughter. Okay, Mustafa. On June 2nd, 2025, Gerald Demos and text messaged Gialamas a video of Mustafa, a former cook who worked at Gino's for Gerald Demos. So this former cook, Mustafa, who used to work at Gino's, right? He goes and delivers a pizza, a Papa John's pizza box, along with roses and a note at the victim's home in Texas. So this guy, the former cook for Jimmy the Greek, he goes to Texas, leaves a Papa John's pizza box with some roses and a note saying, do the right thing or I'm heading to Valpo University and getting a hold of the Greek. This video was found in the Apple iCloud section belonging to victim one's daughter. So you hear what I'm saying? He goes to the victim's house, leaves a pizza box with a note saying, do the right thing or I'm heading to your daughter's university, and leaves roses. A still image from the above video of the pizza box, flowers, and note was sent to Pavopoulos, found in the Google Drive images section of the iCloud belonging to him. On June 25th, the same date the pizza, flowers, and notes were delivered to victim one by Mustafa, Gerald Demos called Mustafa, On June 23rd, a second phone of Mustafa, a track phone cell phone, was activated for Mustafa. So that's a burner phone, we call them, right? So he gets a burner phone. A second call made on this newly acquired Mustafa cell phone was to Gerald Amos. The third and fourth calls made on this phone were to the victim. The fifth call made was back to Gerald Amos. 2 days later, on June 25th, Gerald Amos called Mustafa 220 seconds. He then called again for 141 seconds, 161 seconds. Mustafa then calls victim 1 twice, no answer. Gerald Amos calls Mustafa again. Mustafa went to victim's place of business looking for him now. On July 21st, Gialamas texts Gerald Amos, total plus 427,318 my way. Gerald Amos replied, more credit. Gialamas asked, how are you going to pay all this? Gialamas asked, can ABC fucking pay us? They want their money. They won. Gerald Amos replied, I will soon. Gialamas texts Gerald Amos, I need my money. Come on, get me 25K. What the fuck? A few hours later, Gerald Amos texts Gialamas a screenshot created that day of Mustafa, who was wearing a fuck around and find out t-shirt, FaceTiming with Gerald Amos as posted below. Minutes after the screenshot was sent of Mustafa, Gerald Amos texts Gialamas a video which was recovered from Gialamas' iCloud of Mustafa walking up to the house of victim 1 in Texas and speaking with victim 1 as follows. You know who Dominic is? Dominic, man. Dominic, good friends of yours. He sent me here to come and talk to you to see if you could give him a call because there's a balance due. Victim 1 replies, I don't know no Dominic, man. Mustafa, what's up with the sports? Victim 1, come on, victim 1. He effed me over on that, man. Shit's not even the right balance. What's the balance? Tell me, because I'm like the middle guy. I'm a good guy. You're all good, brother. Victim 1, I understand. Well, tell him to get the balance right and we'll work it out. What's the balance so I can tell him? I don't know off the top of my head. Do you want to call him right now? Let me call him right now. All in violation of Title 18 U.S. Code, Section 1951A and 2. Okay, so that's the kind of shit. That's some of the intimidation, right? Then we got count 3. Count 3. Paragraphs numbered 1 through 38 of count 2, entitled Overt Acts Are Adopted and Incorporated by Reference into this count of the indictment, which is conspiracy to collect extensions of credit by extortion, okay? From or about September 2024 to October 2025, both dates being approximate, inclusive, Jimmy the Greek, Donnie Brasco, Pete Goodies, and Eddie knowingly conspired and agreed together with other co-conspirators, known and unknown to the grand jury, to participate in the use of extortion to collect an extension of credit made to an individual known to the grand jury as victim 1. Okay. Count 4, Hobbs Act, extortion. All the shit from count 2 is brought into this one. Okay, extortion. From or about Hobbs Act, extortion. September 2024 to October 2025, both dates being approximate, Jimmy the Greek, Donnie Brasco, Pete Goodies, and Eddie, together with others, knowingly and intentionally attempted to obstruct, delay, and affect commerce and the movement of articles and commodities in commerce by extortion. That the defendants attempted to obtain property of victim 1, that is money belonging to victim 1, with his consent, which consent was being induced by wrongful use of actual and threatened force, violence, and fear, and aided and abetted in this attempt. Count 5, collecting of extensions of credit by extortion, victim 1. Okay. Jimmy the Greek, Donnie Brasco, Pete Goodies, Eddie knowingly participated in the use of extortionate means in attempting to collect an extension of credit. Okay. Count 6, conspiracy Hobbs Act, victim 2. From August 2023 to June 25, both dates approximate. Jimmy the Greek, Chris Giordemos, Donnie Brasco, Gigi, Michael Wayout, Chucky Hoffa, Alex Giros, Rami Straightflush, and Jimmy Macedonian, together with others, did knowingly and intentionally conspire to obstruct, delay, and affect commerce in the movement of articles, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Overt acts, here you go. James Strezovsky and James Giordamos, on August 15th, 2023, Giordamos texts Strezovsky, ABC wagering, username QR8460, password. Okay? My number, 219, blah, blah, blah. James Strezovsky texted, don't fuck around, this guy is a whale. Giordamos replied, it's done. August 16th, Giordamos texts Strezovsky, minus 9978. Strezovsky responded, I text him to send cashier's check, hasn't responded. September 13th, Strezovsky texts James Giordamos, may need to go fly down there, Florida. Okay, and this is where I might as well tip you off now on where we're headed, because this is for the Delphi OGs. Okay, you Delphi OGs who are actually serious. Certainly, you are familiar with the Tampa, the Florida connection, right? Indiana, Tampa, Tampa, Indiana. Please. Okay. So let's start to understand where we're headed with this, because see, this is not for no reason. Okay. May need to go down, fly down there to Florida and have a face-to-face. Maybe he doesn't understand the conversation. A person listed in Giordamos contacts is XXX Hollywood, XXX Hollywood.
Oh my God! Bruh.
XXX Hollywood texted him, tell him to bring the whole 30. Fuck that. He's trying to bail himself out. He's playing games with you. Giordamos texts Strezovsky, showtime. Giordamos said, call me ASAP. On November 20th, 2023, Giordamos texts Strezovsky, call this jack off. I'll send Hannah's to his house. I'm done talking to him. Tell him I got your money hostage. Giordamos texts Strezovsky, an image not visible. Then another image not visible and stated, ask him what size he wears. I ordered that for victim 2. I need his address. At 7-Eleven, Strezovsky replied, you, bro, what the fuck? Take it easy. Giordamos replied, fuck him, fucking piece of shit. Strezovsky texts Giordamos, I talked to him. I'm not going to keep calling him every fucking 2 seconds. I talked to him. He said he was going to deposit some money and give me the rest of it cash. Giordamos replied, okay. 7:48, Strezovsky texts Giordamos, if he doesn't deposit it within the next couple of days, I'm going to get on him. On November 24th, 2023, Giordamos texts Strezovsky, did he send you anything? Strezovsky said, nope. Giordamos replied, keep on him. Giordamos texted, keep on the cocksucker. Tell him I thought you were paying me. November 28th, victim called Strezovsky for 203 seconds. Giordamos then called Strezovsky for 567 seconds. On November 30th, victim 2 called Strezovsky for 128 seconds. On December 1st, Giordamos texts Strezovsky, get paid from that cocksucker. I'm going to make Nick make me his kumpika. Giordamos then texts an image not visible and texted, that's what victim's ass is going to look like when I have that N-word, F him. Giordamos and Strezovsky spoke for 78 seconds, 81 seconds, 220 seconds, respectively. Victim 2 texts Giordamos, you guys keep threatening me. Again and again, I'm paying what I have to pay. To James, I file a police report on all the threats that you guys making. To me, no problem. When you involve families, is another situation. You guys didn't give me any other option to file a police report. So that tells me they're threatening his family in those photos we can't see. Okay? They're threatening his family members. So he says, I'm filing a police report. Gerodemos replies and says, see you soon, my friend. They already got your number, bro. They already give me report 411 on you. No good. What do you think that means, guys? So the victim says, I filed a police report. I filed a police report. Gerald Damos says, they already got your number. They already gave me report 411 on you. I don't know. January 29th, 2024, James Gerald Damos and victim 2 spoke for 71 seconds, 49 seconds, 67 seconds, respectively. Victim 2 texts Gerald Damos, I meet you anywhere, no problem. Don't want all the people around us. I get you it, no problem. Gerald Damos replied, let's meet tonight. And then victim 2 replies, yes, sir, before tonight. Gerald Damos attempted to call victim. Victim texts Gerald Damos, Jimmy, I didn't forget about you. I'll text you now. Give me an account. I will transfer you the money, $10,000. Gerald Damos replied with an account number, Wells Fargo. Ibrahim, based on subsequent text messages, Wells Fargo under the name of Ibrahim, okay? Victim 2 did not provide a wire transfer. On January 30th, February, and 31st, and every day of February, okay, every single day of February, and then March 1st, 2nd, and 4th, Gerald Damos called victim 2. On March 8th, Gerald Damos texts victim, call me. He called Gia Lamas. He attempted to call victim 2 again and text, this is getting old. Okay, Gerald Damos attempted to call victim 2 again and called Ibrahim for 351 seconds. He then texted the victim, call me. He then texted the victim again, my friend will be down there Monday for a month. Make sure you see him. He's 7 minutes away from you. Call him. He will come and see you. Text the victim, call me. He then called victim 2 for 44 seconds on March 11th and text the victim, my guy is available anytime to meet with him soon. I have to pay him for the remodel job. Remodel in Florida? In Florida? We'll come back to that. Gerald Damos is called by victim 2 and they speak, and victim 2 texts Gerald Damos, just to let you know that you're threatening me doesn't help anyone. And if something happens to me, it's all under your responsibility. Gerald Damos replied, what would happen to you? You're a straight shooter. Nothing ever is going to happen to you. You're a straight guy. You don't fuck nobody. Why would everything happen to you? You're straight. Victim 2 replied, he just called me and you say you know where to find me. Then he texts, then I'm just letting you know if something happened to me or my family, like you send me before my wife, all these threats making me believe that my life is in danger, you'll get your money when I have it. Until then, it's all under your responsibility. We can meet up. We'll get you the money. You will get the money. I don't call no one else than you, and I'm not meeting no one else than you, Jimmy. I have to pay the bank back for the money I borrowed you at the casino. Okay, then there's all these phone calls between the gangsters. Then Gerald Damos texts victim 2 and says, I never deposit those checks because they were no good. The bank told me you don't have no money in your account. The lady says she's not like you, Jimmy. Let me know so Vince can stop by. Then he calls the victim. Then he calls Rami Mansour. Okay. Then the victim tries to call and there's all these phone calls. And then the victim says, no, later. Now we talk. For the last time after this phone call that I just got, no need to talk again. Just let you know that my life's in your hands. Anything will happen to me, you are responsible. James replied, 7-month anniversary. Victim replied, you can send the gangster to my family like he just called me and did, all recorded. I don't have no business with no one that calm and threatened me. After we spoke this morning, that if he wants to come kill me, no problem. You just know that anything happens to me or my family, it's in your hands and no choice than going to the police and put this thing on file. Gerodemos texts him, who is this? You fuck so many peoples. He texts Gerodemos, you're the guy, man. You know you're a gangster contractor, whoever you sent. You know you're a gangster contractor, whoever you sent. And I talked to him nice, but again, the gangster things. Gerodemos replied, 7 months at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8, 9, 10. So about 9, 10 times he texts him 7 months. The victim then says, then take 20,000, not 30 like you want. Let's settle it and get it done. 20K, and that's it. Gerodemos replies, give it to him. Victim 2 replied, no, I'm talking to you only, no middleman. Gerodemos says, where is it at? Okay, then there's these phone calls, and they keep talking, okay, but then on April 30th, Rami Mansour sent James Gerodemos text message screen captures indicating that he was at a casino in Florida where victim 2 was known to gamble. What? So you telling me the kingpin sitting up there at Geno's in Merrillville, he's got a victim down in Florida and the hitman down in Florida. Okay. All right. Approximately 1 hour later, Gerodemos sent 2 photos of victim 2 to Mansour. The first picture was a screen capture of victim 2's driver's license. Second picture was a capture of Gerodemos FaceTiming victim 2. May 1st, Gerodemos called Mansour, okay, and they talk and they keep calling each other, and they involve the victim. Gerodemos texts victim 2, okay, now listen to this. I'll be in Florida next week and Sunday through Wednesday. Victim 2's text, I'm seeing Monday the 27th. We get it straight. Check this out. May 26, 2024. Gerodemos texts victim 2. I'm in Tampa.
Oh my God!
I'm in Tampa.
Bruh.
Hollywood XXX? Tampa? No reply. Victim 2 then replies, I'm going to the bank at 10 a.m. for sure. I'll call you in 1 hour. Da 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 da. Never mind. I deposit you in the a.m. Da da da. Call me. Blah blah blah. You're still at the bank. Send me something, bro. My friend's stopping by to see you. Real stand-up guy, my friend. Okay. You notice the timing here, okay? You notice the timing. As soon as I mention Tampa, what happens? What happens? We get who in the chat? All right. They don't want me to mention Tampa or Hollywood XXX. No, 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 no. All right. So it keeps going, right? It keeps going. Really, Go to the effing bank. You're wearing me down. It's about to come to an end, my friend. Gerald Damos texts the victim in Tampa. I'm going to call you midday. Take care of it. I don't need to call. I'm old school, my friend. Then he says, answer your phone, you disrespectful fucking Jew. Victim 2 attempts to call Gerardamos. He attempts to call Athena. Athena calls James. James texts victim. Sanad Abraham's cell phone number, Sam. Gerardamos called victim 2. Attempted to call Athena again. And there's all these phone calls with his crew, right? September 3rd, Gerardamos called victim 2 and got voicemail. Then he texts victim. This is not effing good. One motherfucking year. Gerardamos attempted to call victim 2. And then he calls back and blah, blah, blah. And there's all this phone tag. Then Gerardamos calls Strzelowski. Then he calls victim 2 for 5 minutes and talks to him. Victim 2 texts, man, you don't have to talk this way. Even you hate the Jewish people. You keep it for yourself. And to say the right about what's happened on October 7th, and they write about killing, raping, and burning kid, babies, girls, women, this is now between you and God. The other things you wish my mom to die, it's fine. Gerardamos texts victim 2. Got voicemail. Gerardamos texts, I'll donate $10 million to the Palestinians because they're 100% legit. Then tries to call victim 2. Searching for victim 2 in Florida casino, Rovito and Chris Gerardamos. September 19th, 2024, Gerardamos, while Chris was in Florida, texts Chris an image not visible and plays the high-limit baccarat. Chris Gerardamos replied, who's this? Gerardamos replied, his name is victim 2. He's always there, scumbag. What do you want me to tell him? He replied, see, if you see him in there, high limit, tell him to call Jimmy. Gerardamos texts Filippo Rovito and Rovito, while Rovito was in Florida. Filippo Rovito sent a group text included Chris Gerardamos. Chris Gerardamos calls Rovito for 1 minute, texts Rovito an image and says, if you see this scumbag at the Hard Rock, this is his name. He plays high-limit baccarat every day, owes me $30,000. If you can get it, take half. He texts him, hangs around a big player there named Hugo. Big player named Hugo, big baccarat player, very well respected. Filippo says, on my way. Filippo Rovito texts, I took a walk around, nobody. He texts victim 2 should be there tonight for sure. He texts victim an image not visible. Okay, then there's all these phone calls. He says, put your glasses on. He's got a face only a mother could love. Gerardamos then texts him an image. Call him from a Florida number if you can. Send him a picture of that guy. And it sent 3 images. Okay, then Gagianas attempts to reach victim 2. Using star 67. Then he conducted a Google search for victim number 2's business in Florida. On November 13th, Gagianas did a screen capture of the Facebook page for victim 2's wife. Okay. And then he obtained a screen capture of victim 2's driver's license from another person's phone. Michael Campbell sends information about victim 2. Okay. There's all of these phone calls. And then Gerardamos texted Mike Campbell a YouTube clip titled Out for Justice, Steven Seagal. Anybody seen Richie? Campbell texts contact detailed information for victim 2's business, identifying victim 2 as the president and victim 2's date of birth. Michael Campbell and victim 2's current address in Florida and information about his condo. James Gerardamos replied, more please, print it out. That's all I got. Okay, Gerodemos and others went to Rovito's restaurant, Capri, in Burr Ridge, Illinois. Okay, Capri in Burr Ridge, Illinois. Gerodemos told a group of people that he was with at Capri about victim two in Florida that owed him money. Gerodemos told the group he was talking to his brother Chris about it when Rovito and Gerodemos on the phone asked, "What's this motherfucker look like?" Gerodemos explained that victim two goes to Hard Rock in Fort Lauderdale all the time. Someone in the group asked Gerodemos if he ever got him, and Gerodemos said no. However, Gerodemos went on to state that Rovito was at the Hard Rock in Fort Lauderdale and FaceTimes Gerodemos walking up to every bald guy he saw and asked if they were victim two and when they would respond. And they weren't. Rovito would walk away. Gerodemos told the group, Gerodemos asked what he was doing, and Gerodemos explained that he was looking for the guy. Additionally, during the same conversation and to induce others to collect debts for him, Gerodemos told the group that he told Chris that Filippo Rovito would get half the money and that Filippo said he was going to knock victim two's lights out and shove his head into a machine. Gerodemos told the group that guy is nuts, and Rovito kept sending him pictures and asking if that was him. Rasim Ibrahim and victim two. Okay. On February 5th, 2025, he sent a text to the victim saying, "We'll pick up $30K from him at a specific address." On February 11th, Ibrahim sent the following text to the victim: "Aviad, I'm trying to be fair with you. I need you to make a payment or I will have to pay you a visit. Let's be gentlemen about this instead. I don't like when you keep lying to me." Ibrahim sent a text to Michael Campbell directing Campbell to take a video of victim two's residence and that Ibrahim would do the rest. Ibrahim received on February 16th, 2025, a P2P electronic payment for $1,000 from victim two and later sent half of what he collected from victim two, $500, to Gerodemos. All right. Count 7. Conspiracy to collect extensions of credit by extortion. Okay, so here we're going with Jimmy the Greek, Gerodemos, Donnie Brasco, Gigi, Chucky Hoffa, Alex Giros, Ramy Straight Flush, and Jim Macedonia, all the same guys we were just talking about. Okay. Count 8. All the same guys, right? Hobbs Act extortion for victim two. Okay. Count 9. Overt acts by extortionate means. Okay. All the same guys for victim two. Count 10. Hobbs Act extortion. Now we're on to victim 3. Okay, you guys listening? We're at our third victim now by example. February 2024 to July 2024. Gerodemos Jimmy the Greek did knowingly and intentionally attempt to obstruct justice, delay and affect commerce, blah, blah, blah. In the furtherance of this, Gerodemos sent the following text messages and dates to to victim 3. "Can I get paid? Still no money? No response. I take it I'm not getting paid. I'll get it one way or the other. No doubt about that. Watch. You collected $118K and I can't get my $7,500. That's nonsense, but I will get it one way or the other. I promise. M7498. You owe me, buddy. Dean 2. You're fucked, my friend. How many people did you fuck? You fucking piece of shit. I hope he fucks you, your mother, you jagoff. You will find out who his uncle is, you fucking gook. Don't worry. He'll fuck you scamming motherfucking. I fucked Dean up over $200K. Scumbag, stick in your mother's pee when he gets fucked. You don't pay, you fucking gook. Still no pay? I had a dream your mother died. When she dies, I'll dig her up and F her in the ass. You're getting exposed, you scumbag. I'll do it all. Suck dicks with love. Gotcha? Fucking jack off piece of shit. Did your mother die yet? I'm praying every day she does. Count 11. Collection of extensions of credit by extortionate mean victim 3. Okay. Jimmy the Greek. All right. Count 12. Victim 4. Hobbs Act extortion. Victim 4. Jimmy the Greek did knowingly, intentionally attempt to obstruct and delay and affect commerce, blah, 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 with the following text messages to victim 4. Call me, please. M24776. When can I see you? Call me ASAP. I heard your mother died. Good. I'm so glad your mother died. I wanted to dig her up and F her. I'm exposing it. Count 13. Victim 4. Jimmy the Greek. Okay. Count 14. Jimmy the Greek, Dean Jem, and Donnie Brasco. Beginning on or about June 2023 through or about July 2025, both dates being approximate, conspiracy to commit money laundering. Okay, under Title 18 U.S. Code, Section 1956, to conduct an attempt to conduct financial transactions affecting interstate commerce, which transactions involve proceeds of specified unlawful activity, that is, operation of an illegal gambling business, with the intent to promote carrying out of such specified unlawful activity, knowing that the transaction was designed in whole or part to conceal and disguise the nature, location, source, ownership, and control of the proceeds of specified unlawful activity while conducting or attempting to conduct such financial transactions, knew that the property involved in the financial transaction represented the proceeds of some form of unlawful activity. Under Title 18 U.S. Code, Section 1957, to conduct or attempt to conduct money laundering transactions affecting interstate commerce is criminally derived property of value greater than $10,000, such property having been derived from a specific unlawful activity, operation of illegal gambling, is in violation of Title 18 U.S. Code 1955. Okay, overt acts. Dean Gialama sent the following text to James Geraldamos, and their account numbers, balances, okay, shit like that. Okay. Geraldamos sends texts with the legal transfer of gambling he made payable to Elias Geraldamos or Midwest Fireworks, another shell corporation or business operated by Geraldamos. Okay. A check on the drawn on the personal bank account of Gialamas in the amount of $18,550 was deposited into the account of Geraldamos. Here's some checks. This one for $60,000. Okay. So you see what they're doing? From their various businesses, they're transacting money from one business to the other. That's a part of this gambling operation, but they're doing so using the business accounts titled for different means for other purposes, okay? So I'll just kind of quickly scan through these so you can see them, okay? Okay, so you see, even going to the look at all that money, man. All those big amounts, 20,000, 70,000, 75,000, 45,000, 6,000. You know what I mean? Big money, $10,000, $3,000, $20,000, $40,000, $38,000, $5,000. All right, $2,000. Okay, and that's what all this shit is. Account numbers, checks, Zelle transfers, all of this sort of thing. All right. Okay, count 15, conspiracy to commit money laundering. Beginning or about February 2023 to October 2025, James Gerodemos, aka Jimmy the Greek, Athena Gerodemos, willingly and knowingly conspired and agreed together with each other and with others known and unknown to the grand jury to commit certain offenses. Okay? And it's describing some of the transactions. Overt acts. Between February 2023 and October 2025, Athena Gerodemos engaged in approximately 200 financial transactions involving illegal gambling proceeds. In these transactions, known gamblers or associates of Gerodemos Gambling Organization wrote checks or Zelled funds to bank accounts owned and operated by Athena Gerodemos. Once receiving those gambling proceeds, Athena Gerodemos then transferred these funds to an account controlled by James Gerodemos. So sounds like Athena got herself involved in this in a very bad way. Okay, Athena picked up and delivered gambling proceeds in person. On February 10th, 2023, as a payment of gambling proceeds, better A Zelled to an account called Athena Gerodemos $500. Later that day, she Zelled the money to an account controlled by her father, James. On September 29, 2023, a payment of proceeds, victim 1 Zelled to an account controlled by Athena $1,600. Later that day, Athena Zelled 16 to an account controlled by her father, James. October 4th, victim 1 Zelled to an account owned by Athena 2 payments of $1,600 and $800. Later, she sent $2,400 over to James. October 16th, victim 1 Zelled to an account $2,000 to Athena. Later that day, Athena Zelled the $2,000 to her father, James. October, victim 1 Zelled $1,000 to Athena. Later that day, James. November 27th, James text a better M25055. Better B text James Gerodemos, send me your daughter's information for Zell and send 555. Later that day, Better B Zelled to an account controlled by Athena Gerodemos 555. Later that same day, Athena Gerodemos Zelled $500 to an account controlled by her father, James. James texts Better M152957. Better Zelled an account controlled by Athena $500. Athena Gerodemos Zelled the $500 to her father, James. 2024. James texts victim M11301. Victim 1 Zelled an account controlled by Athena $2,500. Later same day, Athena Zelled $2,500 to account controlled by her father, James. Later that day, James texts the victim M8801, a new balance owed, reduced by payment of $2,500. January 12th, victim 1 texts James, Jimmy, unfortunately, Zell has a limit on how much you can send, I guess, per week, and whatever the fuck is, but they don't let me send more than $1,500, so I'm sending $1,500 now, and I'll send another $1,500, or we'll figure out another way. It just depends on what the month is, and I think it's $10,000. I'll get one of those line pools. Where the fuck you got? I've just been busy. Sorry I hadn't got your call. January 12th, a payment of gambling proceeds. Victim 1 Zelled to an account controlled by Athena Gerodemos $1,500. Later that day, Athena Zells $1,500 to an account controlled by her father. Next day, James sent the following text to victim. There you go, partner. That 25 plus 15 plus 15, that should give us to get through the playoffs. January 17th, victim 1 Zelled $1,500 and Better B Zelled $500 to an account controlled by Athena. Later that day, Athena Zelled $2,000 to an account controlled by her father. February 21st, 2024. Better B Zelled again, $500 to account controlled by Athena. Later that same day, Athena Zelled $500 to account controlled by her father, James. So this goes on and on and on. But you see what's happening here? Repeatedly, you see, more and more money to daughter. And it's all specifically it's spelled out here, to your daughter, to my daughter, So he's using the daughter, okay, as the go-between with the Zelle, and she's in on it. She's very well knows what she's doing. You see this? To my daughter, sticky, sticky, da, da, da. Okay, okay. Goobies in envelope. Athena got it. Gus paid Athena. Balance 0. Okay. So Athena, his daughter, has gotten herself caught up in a whole bunch of shit right now. Count 16. Conspiracy to commit laundering. James Gerald Deimos, Jimmy the Greek, willfully and knowingly conspired and agreed together. And Chris Gerald Deimos conspired together. Okay. Overt acts. Elias Gerodemos is the son of Chris Gerodemos and the nephew of Jimmy the Greek, James Gerodemos. So now the nephew's involved. On October 30th, 2022, Elias Gerodemos sent a screen capture to Dean Gialamas of the Garden City Bets webpage run by Dean Gialamas, depicting 4 NFL parlay bets or a 4-team NFL parlay bet for $900 to win $11,287. Screen capture also showed a balance of $67,938 with the Garden City Bets illegal gambling website. Throughout the time of this conspiracy, Elias Gerodemos was employed as a licensed financial advisor to a local investment brokerage firm.
Bruh.
Pew, 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 pew. Gerald Deimos previously worked as a manager at the Paragon restaurant. Okay? He held several investment financial licenses in Indiana and numerous other states. During this conspiracy, he repeatedly updated James Gerodemos on account balances of several brokerage accounts managed by Elias for accounts belonging to James, Athena, and others, as well as making deposits of gambling proceeds into those accounts. James Gerodemos would message Elias Gerodemos regarding checks written to a third party, but for the benefit of James Gerodemos that were being deposited into investment accounts owned by James Gerodemos, but managed by Elias Gerodemos, again, who has several licenses in several different states as a licensed financial advisor and local investment brokerage firm employee. So he's running investment banking. This is an investment banker who's a family member, the nephew, who's running these accounts where this money's being laundered. You get it? All right. Also, on numerous occasions, he received checks from James Gerodemos for illegal gambling losses owed to James, written by known bettors who left the pay to the order of line blank. James Gerodemos or Elias Gerodemos would then fill in the name James Gerodemos on this line in the check. In other words, giving him a blank check. Now he's signing Jimmy the Greek's name on the check, right? And then depositing them into James Gerodemos and Athena Gerodemos, the father and the daughter's brokerage accounts, probably at his firm. On January 23rd, 2024, the following text messages were exchanged between Elias and James Gerodemos. James, Athena 116, Violet 117, 500. Elias, okay, when you see next, I'll get the checks. James, you here? Are you here? Yes. Brokerage firm records indicate that 3 checks were deposited into the brokerage account on 1/23/24. Among those checks was one from a local gambler for $8,201. On March 19th, 2024, the following text message exchange occurred between Elias and James. James, did I cash that $2,500 check and you? Elias, I'm doing them all day today and you're nuts. James, I'll see you tonight with it. James, on April 1st, 2024, inquired of Elias Gerodemos if he could use cryptocurrency for deposits into his brokerage accounts. Boo, 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 boo. Oh my God, bruh. He's trying to get high tech. Jimmy the Greek wants crypto now. Okay. Elias says, can't take crypto. Elias also knew Bassam Ibrahim and Sanad Ibrahim. Remember those guys from earlier, the enforcers, strong arms, right? And were part of multiple three-way calls involving James Gerald Damos, Ibrahim, and Sanad. But remember, Bassam Ibrahim and Sanad Ibrahim, they're getting half the proceeds that are collected. So maybe he's running brokerage accounts for them too. The following messages occurred on March 6th. Elias says to James, who did you say was on the line with you? James, Sanad. Elias, oh, okay, I thought you said Bassam. On June 3rd, the following text message occurred depicting Elias helping James write out checks. I'll be there in 30. Okay, don't write a new check yet. When I see you, I can write it for you. On August 16th, you at the shop? No, I have meetings outside of the office today. What's up? I wanted to drop off checks. Drop them off to the lady in front. When I come back, I'll see them. You have a forklift? James gave Elias checks in James's name, but wanted them deposited into the Athena's accounts. Elias sends the following text. Subtract 10K from Athena and put it into another name. The checks were in your name, so I said they have to deposit in your account, not Athena. On January 10th, 2025, James texts Elias, Athena 92, 1000, Violet 804, 800, and check about from name of gambler. On February 19th, 2025, Elias Gerodamos texts James Gerodamos, you gave $1,825,038 profit, Violet 974604, Athena 940540, 1,915,144, profit of $90,106 altogether. Okay, transmission of wagering information. And I'm going to just skip this here. You see, it's Giuseppe Manzi, Elias Gerodamos, James Stravowski, Nanad Rajoja, or Radoja, Andrew Nguyen, Vladimir Gans, Gus Kaporis, Athenos Gerodamos, Samuel Nuzzo, Filippo Rovito, Alexander Giganas, Michael Campbell. Okay. Gambling forfeiture. Okay, so let me take a little second here. I got to cough and get some water. Okay, thank you. So we're almost done here. Now, what's interesting about this whole thing, they've literally saved the best for last. Okay, they've saved the best for last. This is absolutely mind-boggling here, what we're about to learn about. You guys are not going to believe it. This is so massive. You guys will never believe until you hear it and see it for yourselves. That's why it's on the screen here. Now, you see what they've done. They've gathered all of these individuals, every single one of these guys. Okay, please listen. Let me wake you guys up. Guys, wake the hell up. Come on, bro. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, bruh. All right. now that you're up, every single one of these guys now, look at what just happened. Okay, this is absolutely insane. I've never heard of anything like this. All of these guys that we just heard about, every single one of these 22 individuals that we just heard about, the daughter, the nephew, I don't know, everybody, right? Every single person caught up in this indictment shall forfeit to the United States of America the following. Now, wait until you see this. Any property, real or personal, which constitutes or is derived from proceeds traceable. Okay. Now, look at this. Number one, Gino's Steakhouse. So understand what the feds are doing here. The FBI, the feds, the United States of America is taking the following. Gino's Steakhouse, Indiana alcohol beverage and catering license for Gino's Steakhouse. Paragon Restaurant, Indiana alcohol beverage and gaming license for Paragon Restaurant. Land Rover 2024, okay? GMC Sierra, okay? JP Morgan Chase account, another JP Morgan Chase, a First Financial Bank account, a First Financial Bank, a Bank of America, a Bank of America, American Enterprise SPS Advantage account, Ameriprise Financial Brokerage account, Ameriprise Financial Active Portfolio account, Ameriprise Financial SPS Advantage account, Ameriprise Financial SPS Advantage account, another financial Roth account, financial brokerage account, Fifth Third Bank savings account, Bank of America checking account, Bank of America business account, Wells Fargo checking account. So listen to this. So far, Gino Steakhouse and license, Paragon Restaurant and license, Land Rover, Sierra, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, about 17 accounts, brokerage and banking, right? Then look at this. The homes, residence, and property at 538 Turnberry Drive, Cherville, Indiana. Residence and property at 10,600 Mahogany Terrace, St. John, Indiana. Residence and property at 10301 West 109th Avenue, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Residence and property at 10404 White Oak Lane, Apartment 2B, Munster, Indiana. Structure and property at Cherries and Berries Pancake House, 791 Indian Boundary Road, Chesterton, Indiana. Residence and property at 3700 Montgomery Street, Hobart, Indiana. Residence and property at 2367 Vigo Street, Lake Station, Indiana. Residence and property at 2603 Sweetbroom Road, Naperville. Residence and property at 360 East Randolph Street, Unit 2908, Chicago. Residence and property at 36750 U.S. Highway 19, North 20205, Palm Harbor, Florida. Residence and property at 381 Herman Street, Crete, Illinois. Ameriprise Financial Brokerage account, Ameriprise Financial SPS Advantage account. So what is that? Two more accounts, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 homes. Well, one of them being a business, I guess, Cherries and Berries Pancake House. Notice of forfeiture number 2, money laundering forfeiture. As a result of Title 18 U.S. Code, right? Count 14 of this indictment, Jimmy the Greek, Dean Jim, and Donnie Brasco shall forfeit to the U.S. any property, real, personal involved with such violations. All right. Jimmy the Greek and Athena Gerodamos shall forfeit any property, real or personal, involved in such violations. Okay. So you see the cash sums. So we're talking about 175,000 We're talking about 227,000. We're talking about 340 and $3,349. Okay, that's all cash money. Cash money. Notice the forfeiture number 3, transmission of wagering information forfeiture. Okay, this is all the guys. It's Filippo, Michael Campbell, Samuel Nuzzo, Alexander, Gus Kaporis, uh, Butch Hunky, Vladimir Gans, Athena, Elias, Jim Stravowski, Andrew Nguyen, and Giuseppe Manzi, right? Shall forfeit to the U.S. any property, real or personal, which constitutes or is derived from proceeds traceable to a violation of any offense constituting specific or specified unlawful activity. Okay? So think about this right now. You just got 22 people snatched up. What did I say? 11, 12 homes, 3 businesses, maybe like 14 accounts. Okay, so here's what just hit Northwest Indiana. They got all these guys, took their businesses, took all their accounts, took all their cash, took their homes. Now, you know what they get to do now? Now they get to investigate using each of those assets. They get to go into all of those accounts and see the entire transactional history going back years for each of those accounts. They get to grab each of them homes, go through each of those homes that they've gathered. What did I say? 12 homes, 11 homes? All these guys' homes, digging through the entire homes now, okay? The businesses, now they get to go through all the businesses. You think that they're not interviewing the employees of these restaurants? I mean, they're going to have to go to that brokerage where Elias was working, investigate that. Now, there's something else I want to pull up before we end here. Here we go. All right. I want to show you this because a lot of what was referenced in here was Hobbs Act extortion, okay? All right, so Hobbs Act extortion. So in order to prove a violation of Hobbs Act extortion by these individuals, the questions must be answered yes below. Did the defendant induce or attempt to induce in the victim or induce the victim to give up property or property rights? Yes. Did the defendant use or attempt to use the victim's reasonable fear of physical injury or economic harm in order to induce the victim's consent to give up property? Yes. Moreover, attempted extortion may include an attempt to instill fear in a federal agent conducting a covert investigation. Okay? However, the payment of money in response to commercial bribe solicitation under circumstances where the defendant does not threaten with economic harm but only offers economic assistance in return for payment is not sufficient to prove extortion by fear. Did the defendant's conduct actually potentially obstruct, delay, or affect interstate or foreign commerce in any realistic way or degree? Yes. See, that's why they kept referencing this particular verbiage there. Was the defendant's actual threatened use of force, violence, or fear wrongful? Generally, the extortionate obtaining of property by the wrongful use of actual or threatened force or violence in commercial dispute requires proof of a defendant's intent to induce the victim to give up property. No additional proof is required that the defendant was not entitled to such property or knew that he had no claim to the property which he sought to obtain. In other words, even if you were entitled to that money, you still had no right to use threat of violence or force or fear in order to get that to which you believe you were entitled to, whether you were or not. All right. So you see, there's an entire article here, and you can find this at the U.S. Department of Justice website if you're interested in learning more about that. But I thought it was interesting. So what's my takeaway? I think it's very interesting that you got someone called XXX Hollywood who's down in Tampa. I think it's interesting that these arrests that happened today happened in Puerto Rico, in Florida, in Los Angeles, in New York, in Arizona, in Boston, Chicago. Pretty interesting. I think these are some power players in North Indiana that just got swept up. As I said before, how many cops have been protecting and benefiting and gambling with these guys? And you know how this works. You start pulling on one thread, the whole thing starts unraveling. And so for me, it's pretty interesting. Who knows where this is going to lead? Who knows where this is going to lead? This is in the very region where we've had a lot of bad things take place. Merrillville. I don't need to remind y'all about Merrillville. LaPorte County. Michigan City. Lafayette. Lowell. These guys were throwing around 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 at a time. These aren't any crackheads on the street. These are not just some crackheads. And like I said, these are guys in Florida, in Boston, California, New York, Arizona. These guys are spread out all over, and they're throwing around a lot of money. And that's what this was about today or yesterday. So I wanted to come on and just show everyone what I could. And I was so glad to be able to grab a hold of that indictment so that we could see for ourselves what it was really about and what the grand jury really set out. And it's pretty damn interesting. Pretty damn interesting. So yeah, thanks to everyone for being here today. That was major RICO bust in Indiana. And I'm sure we'll be hearing more from this because, like they said, this is just the beginning. There's probably going to be more arrests. And who knows? Who knows what? Who knows? And you know, the thing about these family members, like little Athena, who's to say Athena won't start talking? Because all she did was help her dad with some Zells, right? And who knows about this guy Elias, right? The financial investment banker or whatever. Who knows about Elias? Who else has he moved the money around for? So we'll be kind of keeping up and tracking this story and following it well. But if you want, go look at it for yourself. It's called Operation Porterhouse Parlay, and it's the Gerald Damos organization. So you can go look at, even if you type Jimmy the Greek, uh, you'll pull it up. But it's very, very interesting information. Shit that's going down right now in north central and northwestern Indiana. Very, very interesting. It's not nothing, okay? And all of you doomers out there that all you do is complain about everything all the time, you should be celebrating this, okay? Because this is a thread to pull on, and you don't know who's been throwing money around using these avenues or related to these people. That when discovery comes, because each of these individuals is likely going to have their own trial. So as these trials get underway and these prosecutions get underway for each of them, who's going to be drawn in and caught up into that web? Very interesting. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Truly, truly appreciate it. Okay. So we'll be getting out of here. My throat is shot. And it was a nice Thursday. Very nice Thursday night. Okay. So look, let me say hello and goodbye to, and special thank you, by the way, to Deb and Mustang, Critter Mama, Who's Her Daddy, Dewey Ox, uh, Goose's Gammy, Monday. Who else is up in here? Sarah. Um, Peachy. Shelly. Shelly Klein. Who else was here? Rachel. Quietly, quietly, quietly. Miss K was here. And who knows who else? I've gone back pretty damn far. Violets and Grace. Um, David Rogers. Support with Steffa. Four Pit Bulls Across America. Pertinent. Nancy Drew. Fur Baby Daddy. Dennis McKean. Lisa Cornwell. Becky. All kind of people were here. Noe was here. Nancy Drew was here. Okay. All you guys who are here super, super early, truly appreciate it. It's gotten late. Um, Shay Watson. Hey, Shay Watson's here still. All right. So yeah, like I'm saying, this was huge. I'm absolutely excited. Okay, I'm excited. This was huge. Who knows what's going to come of this? And that's all I'll say for now. I'm not going to go on and on, but you get where I'm going with this. But thanks everybody for being here, especially our VIP tonight, Who's Her Daddy? Because I know more than anyone in the entire live chat tonight, Who's Her Daddy knows what the hell I'm talking about. So shout out Who's Her Daddy? You're the guest of honor tonight. And thanks everyone for being here. If you're new to this, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to make this indictment available to everyone to download. But look, please leave some comments down below. If you're new here, we love hearing on the replay all the comments in the comment section, especially if you're from Indiana. Let me know what you know. Let me know if you've dined out at these establishments. And also, I wanted to let everyone know that I have a Facebook page and I have a Substack account that I'd love for you to go follow. So if you run over to Facebook uh, and you check my About Me section, you can see my Facebook page on Linktree. Okay, join my Facebook group. It's nice to have people over there to chat and to share this breaking news as it comes. Usually, what I do with breaking news, the minute it comes out and I see it, I go put it on Facebook so all the group members can kind of get familiar before we even talk about it. Secondly, Oh yeah, there it is there. Thank you, Deb. Secondly, I have a Substack. So the Facebook is the Prof Podcast over at Facebook. Please go join us at the Prof Podcast on Facebook. And please join us at Read the Prof at Substack. Okay. You go to Substack. I have an amazing series of articles at Substack, and I'm constantly adding things. I will be adding some things there very soon. And it's over at readtheprof.substack.com. So thank you so much for going check me out at Facebook and Substack. I love to have you there, and I love to have your input on this content. And check out all of our other interesting content. And I'm sure you'll be very enlightened by a lot of what we've done here in the past years. Please make sure you hit the thumbs up on the way out. So good night, everyone. Hit the thumbs up for me on the way out, and I will see you very soon. That means tomorrow night for those of you on the live stream. Friday night, I'll see you Friday night show, and I can't wait to do so. So God bless. Hug your kids, hug your wife. Unless you're in North Central and Northwestern Indiana, then you gotta hide your kids.
Well, obviously, we have a rapist in Lincoln Park. He's climbing in your windows. He's snatching your people up, trying to rape them. So y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband because they raping everybody out here.
Bruh.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
Bruh.
Prof is a fucking terrorist, a fucking pedophile, sympathizing fucking terrorist.
It's not productive. It's kind of gross and icky. And I feel like it tells us more about them than the people they're trying to degrade. They're always trying to degrade someone.
Bruh.
Prof is a fucking terrorist.
It's not productive.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
It's not productive.
Prof is a fucking terrorist.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
It's not productive.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
It's not productive.
Prof is a fucking terrorist, a fucking pedophile, sympathizing fucking terrorist.
This stuff's coming to a close. There are more than one person involved with this case. It's not just Richard Allen. There's several others, and we've all seen them on TV and been interviewed and spoken about way back in the beginning. Law enforcement has known about these people, but they have to methodically build a case.
It's not productive.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
Prof is a fucking terrorist.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
It was our job to help law enforcement.
It's not productive.
Bruh.
Bye, you fucking hoe.